Hello, Guardians and Assassins. How are we doing today? Well, I hope you're doing good because this is the second part of the video that I said that I would release later today. Well, later today is obviously now. So, what are we going to learn about? We're going to learn about mods. Yes, we're still talking about mods. But the thing about mods that we're going to talk about is how do we make these things work now? What do they do? What are the numbers that we have to know? Like, what's the information? So, I'll stop holding out and I'll give it to you guys. So here you go. Now, this is this all was put together by an author from Reddit named KYT_Kutcha, which is Kutcha. Never heard of the name before in my life, but the information is incredibly accurate. I will stick a link in the description if you guys want to see the full explanation of what he wrote. Keep in mind, guys, it is long. It is like a book, but it's very accurate because of the length of it. So, right here he's talking about handling. So right now for handling entails aiming down sights, your equipped, and your stow speed of your weapons. You can't really go over the percentages because of how fast the actual actions are. So they all average out to roughly about 15% though. Okay? You have to allow for rounding and multiply by 0.85 to be able to kind of figure out, you know, where your handling is, what you guys need. That's for all you guys who are crazy about the numbers. I'm not really crazy about the numbers, to be honest with you. Now, mods reducing cooldowns by 9% rather than a fixed number of seconds. So, guys, the reason that they have these cooldowns are by a percentage instead of a fixed number of seconds is because they're all different. That's right, they're all different. Everybody thinks that they're the same, but they're not. Paragon mods reduce your class ability cooldown by 17%. Okay? And 3 mods by 24%. So if you sit there and you have one Paragon class mod on, okay, it's going to go down by 17%. So if you add a second and a third one, they don't multiply. You're actually going to only drop your cooldown by 24% at that point. This holds true pretty much over all classes and all abilities. Now let's talk about some grenades and some class abilities because, you know, that's where we're getting to. So, grenade cooldowns are 83 seconds. So, every single class, or every single type of grenade has an 83-second cooldown, except for a firebolt grenade or an arc bolt grenade, which their cooldowns are exactly at 1 minute apiece. So, 60 seconds. And guys, that's a pretty exceptional, you know, increase there, considering what some of those grenades can actually do. Now let's talk about the Titan and the Warlock melee cooldowns. They are at 83 seconds. But if you are on a Warlock and you're on a Stormcaller melees have a 96-second cooldown. Hunter cooldowns are also 96 seconds for their melee, which is basically their knife. Now let's talk about class abilities. Now this is where things change it up a little bit. Now for the Hunter class, which actually has the best cooldown out of all of them, your Hunter dodge is actually on a 25-second cooldown, which is absolutely marvelous. Your Titan wall, on the other hand, is on a 38-second cooldown, and your Warlock Rift is on the exact same cooldown as their grenades are, which is 83 seconds, which is forever. At least it feels that way. So, actual cooldown time math here, okay? So, if you, depending on, you know, which class that you want, if you are looking to add just one mod, you have to times the amount of seconds times 0.91 to be able to get your actual cooldown speed. With 2 mods, you take the exact same seconds again, and you times it 0.83. Now that will tell you that with 2 mods. Now with 3 mods, you take your original seconds again for the 3rd time, and you times it by 0.76. Now guys, I'm not exactly sure how this math actually works out because, as I said, I'm not very good at math, but that is pretty much all the math that you end up needing for all your stuff now. So let's go into handling. Handling overall average out to roughly about 15%. So with that being said, let's go over some other things. Now, apparently they have broken up the armor mods into different classes. Now, an S tier class, I'm not exactly sure what that consists of, and I'm not exactly sure if I agree with these tier ratings here, but the energy bracket mod, the kinetic munition loader, which is basically how fast your kinetic weapon reloads, your paragon mod, your ordnance mod, which is basically your grenades, and your self-repairing mod, which is basically your healing, are all A-class mods. I don't agree with that, but we'll get into that later. Now, for a B tier or Bravo tier or whatever you want to call it here, we have an impact mod, acceleration mod, impact absorption mod, kinetic counterbalance mod, energy counterbalance mod, and that's it for our B tier. Now for our C tier here, we have a power bracket mod and power munition loader. Now for those, I actually agree, because those are pretty much should be bottom of the barrel, because nobody ever should use those just because they're a waste of space. So let's talk about where these mods can go. So these mods here, you have the kinetic counterbalance mod, which is the chest or cloak. Keep in mind, guys, the only class with a cloak there is your hunters. You have a kinetic munition loader, which are arms or your mark, which that would be a titan. Increases kinetic weapon reload speed by 12%, and it stacks. Now, let's go over energy counterbalance mod. So this is any weapon in your energy slot there, which the mod goes in your arms or your cloak, which once again, that's hunter, and it increases the energy weapon recoil direction, and it stacks. Now, guys, when it says that it increases recoil direction, it means it makes it more easily controlled, as in makes it more vertical, which is always a wonderful thing. Now, they also have the energy bracket mod, which is for the helmet and the bond. This increases energy weapon handling speed by 15%, and it stacks. You have the power bracket mod, which is for the chest and the bond, which, keep in mind, this mod and the last mod are both for warlocks. It increases weapon handling speed by 15%, and once again, it stacks. So now we have the power munition loader, which goes in in your chest piece or your mark. Now, your marks are only for your titans. That's right, you guys guessed it. So this increases power weapon reload speed by 9%, and it stacks. The impact absorption mod is for the helmet and the mark, and that increases resilience by +1 or 2 health, and that stacks as well. Now, the self-repairing mod goes in either legs or bond. Guys, this is your recovery mod. For each 1 point, you will recover 3 seconds sooner to full health. So your self-repairing mod for your leg and your bond, which would be for your warlock, are both worth 1 point each. This is on top of the numbers that are already in your armor sets. And then last, we have the acceleration mod, which goes in your arms or your cloak. It does +1 to mobility, and what mobility does, it improves jump height, walk speed, and crouching speed. That's right, guys, it does not affect your run. So the acceleration mod is pretty much garbage. So if you guys are able to use the acceleration mod, or you enjoy using the acceleration mod, congratulations, and that's probably something I will never do. So we will now go over what you guys have all been waiting for. And we have my character here being the Vanna White for us. So let's get into it. First of all, Vanna, let's do a nice little spin here. Let everybody see the way that you look, you know, very nice. Yes, I did go through and add different shaders just so you guys would see that. And I don't look like a schmuck on video, which is awesome. Now, guys, if you haven't noticed, this is my favorite weapon in the world, your Antelope D. You guys should all know what the traits are, which is kill clip. Reloading after a kill increases damage. Then we have tactical mag and ricochet rounds, and you guys can see pretty much, and the different sights, you guys can pretty much see the differences on these. Now, guys, I have this masterworked for reload. That was the yellow bar on the bottom there and the yellow bar in the stats. Now I'm going to show you my other little secret. The Dragon Shadow. Keep this in mind. The perk for this piece of armor is grants increased movement and weapon handling speed for a short time after dodging. Now, I don't know what that means to you guys, but to me, that just screams, grab me and let's get aggressive. Now, you guys saw that I had a health recovery mod in the top there and a kinetic reload speed mod in the arms. Now, so I have also another kinetic reload speed in the Dragon Shadow, which does not combine with the perk, and I'll explain that here in a minute. For the legs, I have another recovery mod, and for the cloak, I just decided to throw something in there, so it's recoil for the kinetic weapon. Now, what does this do? This makes you reload fast as hell. You guys got to keep that in mind, because you have two kinetic mods that are basically decreasing your reload time, which is absolutely wonderful. And the number one problem with this weapon is, in order to get to the perk, you have to reload. Well, if you want that perk quicker, obviously you're going to have to learn how to reload quicker. Now, you guys are seeing background gameplay of pretty much these stats in action. Now, I don't believe the one thing that I didn't do, though, is I didn't do a hunter dodge before a reload. But, guys, I'm telling you this, it is absolutely stunning. Basically, what you're going to do, if you get into, you know, this is your normal operating speed right here, what you guys are seeing, which is absolutely amazing for the Antelope. Now, if you sit there and you get into some trouble and you don't, you know, fire a tether off like I just did, and you don't have anything, like you don't have your grenades or, you know, your smoke or anything like that, what do? Well, you real quickly, you hunter dodge. Why? Because it increases weapon handling. It increases how fast you reload and how fast you aim down sights, on top of how fast you switch weapons. So yes, guys, it does a lot. But now, let's talk about our friendly Antelope D here with Kill Clip. You have two reload mods onto it, which it is masterworked for reload, which gives it a huge chunk right there. And then, on top of all this, you know, you can throw in your hunter dodge. Guys, what does this mean? This means that your reload is lightning fast. That's right, Flash is jealous of this one. Why? Because I don't even think Flash could reload this fast. That's what you get for being part of DC. Anyways, alright guys, well I hope that you all enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you guys have gotten a good, clean understanding of how you can use these mods and pretty much like the Masterworks and other things to your advantage. Yes, I'm using the Dragon Shadow on this, but guys, for a weapon that the problem is reload and you speed up the reload that much, you got yourself a laser beam. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys definitely enjoyed everything and learned some stuff. So if you like what you heard, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see more content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you never want to miss another video that I put out, go ahead and click that notification bell. Just give you a normal heads up. Hey guys, I release content daily, so if you don't want to hear your notifications going off every 5 seconds, then don't click the bell, especially if you binge watch all your YouTube at the end of the week. Either way, guys, I will see you guys in the next Crucible School.